Okay guys, and welcome to the hierarchy of an assignment, but more importantly, this is how I mark them. This is what I look at when I'm doing specifically your drafts as well, and also when I'm marking your assignment. You know I like a hierarchy, so here goes. First thing then will be SPAG. Okay, so we'll get on to what these mean in a little bit. So that's the first thing I'm going to be looking at. Next I'm going to be looking at your formatting. So how did you format it? Next I look at your references, and then finally your content. So your SPAG, I'm looking at your spelling, punctuation and grammar. Okay, this is kind of a key thing here. I will only write a certain amount of feedback on your assignment. Don't waste it with me asking you correct spelling mistakes, punctuation mistakes, grammatical errors, etc. Okay, proofread your work first before you send it to me. Don't use me as a proofreader, especially in today's day and age with that red squiggly line underneath everything. Okay, if it's got a red squiggly line under it, double check should it be there. Sometimes the computer doesn't always recognise some words, I understand that. Okay, but you need to check your spelling, punctuation and grammar. Formatting. You know, if you've taken the time to format your work, I'm going to be more willing and ready to read it, okay? So if you put a header on, is your name on it? That's a big thing for me. If you're not willing to put your name on assignment, how does that make me think what you feel about your assignment? You know, George Foreman, so good, I put my name on it. You know, if you're not willing to put your own name on your own assignment, what does that say about your assignment and how much effort you've really put into it? Next, things like headings and subheadings. Remember on one of the sections, section 5 I think it is, it says show a good command of formatting and structure. Okay, so using headings and subheadings are quite easy to do. And once again, if you've used headings correctly, it makes a contents page for you. So even though some assignments may only be 4 pages of actual work, if you've put a nice front cover on it, a nice table of content, I'm ready to read this now. This has put me in a good mood. I'm good to go with this. If you've just handed in a bit of paper with loads of words written on it, no header, no footer, no attempt at subheadings, no names on it, things like that, you know, I'm really not in the mood to read it. Next one, references. Okay, citation, bibliography and how relevant they are. So make sure you get used to using Harvard referencing. Okay, there's copy of quote unquote on Moodle, there's the video on how I do it on Moodle, or you can always ask us in class or send us an email. Okay, make sure these citations are down and they're done correctly. It's very easy to get right once you've got the hang of it, very easy to get right. And once again, section 4, some good use of additional information or extensive use of additional information. So references, citation, bibliography. And we'll notice here, so far in these bottom 3, I haven't even got to the merit and distinction stuff, the meat of what I'm trying to do. So as I said, I'm only going to put a certain amount of comments on it. And if all your comments are on these bottom 3, you're wasting the opportunity to get a draft. And then finally I look at content. This is analysis, application and evaluation. Okay. What's good about it? What's bad about it? That's your analysis, application. Don't just whack me in you know, this means this. Well, what does that mean to real life people? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what does that really mean? You know, if I look at this thing here, what does that really mean to you? Well, for me it means if you haven't bothered doing the bottom 3, you should be able to do yourself. And if you're, so, you know, I only put a certain amount of comments on, and if you're wasting the comments on the bottom 3, you're really not getting the most out of my time and your time as well. So that's the real life example. What does it really mean to businesses? What does this theory actually mean to businesses? And then evaluation, you know, would it work, won't it work, why won't it work, why would it work, etc. Okay. So these are the 4 key areas that I'm looking at. This is kind of the process I go through when I am looking at your assignment. First of all, it's the obvious spelling, punctuation and grammar. You know, easy enough to do, but get it wrong and I'm not marking too well. Get it right, it's easy to go. Next I'm just looking at the format, the structure and the flow. How's it laid out? Have you taken time to make it look nice? It shouldn't matter, but it does. Remember when you go to a restaurant, you eat with your eyes. You know, they don't just slop it on a plate and bang it out like a school dinner lady. They take time to present it. It's the same with your assignment. Next, because we are in an academic institution, there's references, okay? Do you have a nice reference list? Is it all relevant as well? You know, I'm sick of seeing Wikipedia says this, or according to a pointless newspaper, or the dictionary defines this. You know, we are a business course. Our citations and references should come from business examples. Okay, in theory, as we said, we do use other ones as well, just to round it off, but in the main we should be using business ones. And then it's the content. This is the good stuff. the analysis, the application, the evaluation. That's when I'm getting into your work. So really make sure that you look at how it's set out, how it's laid out. Go through this yourselves. Are there any spelling mistakes? No. Next, how's the formatting looking? Sit back from the computer. Don't read your actual piece. Sit back from the computer. Just how does it look from 2 meters away? How are my references? Is there a good structure? Is there flow? If I don't understand it, just ask, can you help me with my references? Because that then doesn't take up my time looking at your work. Or once again, then we get to the nitty-gritty. Then we get to the content. What have I actually learned? So the bottom 3 you should be able to do quite easily yourself at home before you get sent it off to me. But by doing that, you're going to make sure you're going to get better feedback. As I say, I'll only put a limited amount of comments on your assignment, and you want those comments to make you the best that you are, So look, that's Maslow, isn't it? Be all you can be. So I'm trying to get you there, but I've got to go through a process, so help me out. Good luck with your assignment, guys. Always happy to have a look at stuff before submission date, but maybe follow these rules as well.